Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the Caribbean. It is Saturday evening, January 7th, 2023. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video, share it, subscribe and tap notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a brand new video. Also, feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section letting me know what the weather has been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. I respond to all comments and I really live for this stuff. Alright, so let us take a look at the significant feature map across the Atlantic for this evening. So same as yesterday, we still have that high pressure ridge dominating the entire Atlantic, sending all of that easterly wind across the main development region into the Caribbean. And we can also see that we have a cold front that's affecting portions of the Bahamas and Cuba right there. If we actually take a look at the satellite images, we can see all of those clouds being pushed towards the west by that high pressure, and we can see the tail end of that cold front bringing some amount of clouds to portions of Cuba and the Bahamas at this time. Alright, so let's just take a look at what happened across Jamaica today. We said in our post yesterday that we would have had some amount of rainfall across portions of northern Jamaica in the morning and then portions of southern Jamaica during the afternoon. What ended up happening? A post was made at 8:10 a.m. highlighting some amount of greens that signify moderate rainfall across portions of northern Jamaica, just as predicted. And then during the afternoon, we had a buildup of clouds across portions of southern Jamaica. We even had some amount of lightning flashes. The sparkling white dots signify the lightning flashes and thunderstorms, just as predicted it would. And you can also see that the wind shear is being pushed off to the southeast, just as predicted. We even had some commenters who confirmed the rainfall. Somebody stating Spanish Town getting enough rain with lightning and thunder. Another commenter stating, "Me Jesus a lightning just strike me, swear me still a look for God bust through the sky on his way for this world." No sir. Raining now in Goshen, St. Elizabeth. Another commenter stating, raining in Little London, Westmoreland. Waterford is experiencing moderate showers according to another commenter. Raining in Kingston, nice rain in Kingston. Raining in St. Elizabeth, raining in St. Bess. So lots of rainfall across the southern portions of the island, just as predicted, the same areas that had the actual cloud cover. Even on Twitter we had some commenters drizzling in New Kingston and Spanish Town, St. Catherine, Portmore got some heavy rain as predicted. And if you actually take a look at the Doppler radar images, we can see that we had some amount of green left over in the evening hours that represents some amount of rainfall right there off the shores of St. Elizabeth. And if you actually take a look at the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, it highlights the blues right there dotting portions of the north coast, and it highlights the greens that signify up to even 30 millimeters of rainfall across portions of Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland, just as predicted. Alright, so let us talk temperatures right now. So you can just pause the video at this time and look at your specific area to see the temperatures. Right now we can see 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston and 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay. And if you actually look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we're going to be getting some slight yellows, and that is being shown on both the Euro and the GFS models. Some slight yellows indicate at least 1 degree Celsius above average. And as you know, in January we're supposed to be getting 86 degrees Fahrenheit, but we might just get 87 tomorrow, especially with the amount of dry air that's expected to come back in. And if we actually take a look at the thermometer, 86 to 87 degrees Fahrenheit, that's about 31 degrees Celsius. Alright, so let us take a look at the Saharan air layer map. So this is not only showing the Saharan dust, it's also showing the dry air, and we can see a lot of dry air right there across portions of the Gulf of Mexico. Yesterday the Central Caribbean had less dry air. We can see that the dry air is building back up, considering that the clouds associated with the trough are actually dissipating. However, for tomorrow at 2 p.m. the actual Saharan dust is still not expected to affect Jamaica at all. We're still in the clear, we're still in the blues to experience some clear blue skies. Alright, so let us start the wind forecast. We can see that we're going to be receiving an easterly flow of winds across the island tomorrow, anywhere from 10 to 20 knots across the island, and that is being shown on both the Euro and the GFS. But where does all of the air pile up? We can see that we have the least amount of air, all of the air piling up across portions of south central and southwestern Jamaica. So there is a high chance of having some amount of afternoon convection tomorrow. And with the wind shear still coming out of the northwest, the bias for the rainfall will still be across portions of southern Jamaica. And if you actually take a look at the precipitation forecast for tomorrow, you can see that we have some amount of blues that signal some rainfall across portions of northern Jamaica. What time is that? That's 3 a.m. and both the Euro and the GFS are in consensus with that. So portions of Trelawney, St. James, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland might get on some of the rainfall, maybe even spilling into portions of St. Thomas. That's 3 a.m. Let's fast forward. This is 6 a.m. now. We're still seeing that amount of blues on both the Euro and the GFS across portions of northern Jamaica. And even at 9 a.m. we still have some amount of blues across the island, and even in the afternoon we can see some blues starting to build up across central and western Jamaica on both the Euro and the GFS. So get ready for that afternoon convection. If we actually take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast, however, we can see that the concentration of rain will be across portions of northern Jamaica, considering that all of the rainfall is going to be affecting the air for such a long period. So this is all of the accumulated precipitation that's expected from now on both the Euro and the GFS up until 10 p.m. on a Sunday, and we can see the concentration across portions of, let's say, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, Jamaica on both models. And we know that when we have consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. So it makes sense that our workers here at Weather Jamaica made a post stating that yes, we're going to be receiving some amount of rainfall across portions of northern Jamaica tomorrow morning, and then portions of central and western Jamaica during the afternoon. So basically the same maps that were just shown are what is being shown there, so get yourselves ready for that. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let's talk about the rest of the Caribbean. So we can see a lot of activity right there to the north and the east of Puerto Rico, the northeastern Caribbean in general, getting in on a lot of rainfall at this time, lots of cloud cover right there. And we can also see a lot of activity across portions of South America, to Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, getting in on a lot of weather there. And we can also see a lot of clouds across portions of Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua as usual. And if we actually take a look at the Doppler radar images, as you know, Doppler radar images show the actual rainfall as opposed to satellite images that show the cloud cover. You know that we can have cloud cover over an area and not necessarily rainfall. So this is all of the rainfall that's happening right now. So portions of Puerto Rico, the British and US Virgin Islands, St. Kitts, Montserrat, Guadeloupe, Dominica getting in on some amount of rainfall at this time. And even on the Barbados radar, we can still see a lot of rainfall moving in from the east to the west. So portions of, look at this, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenada, even portions of Tobago getting in on some amount of rainfall there. And if we actually take a wider view of the Doppler radar images across the Caribbean, we can see the actual rainfall that's taking place right now across portions of Guatemala and Belize, portions of Honduras, portions of Guyana and Suriname, as well as French Guyana at this time. Alright, so to start the Saharan air layer forecast for tomorrow, we can see the browns are starting to creep up, starting to make their way across portions of the south central Caribbean Sea. So portions of the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao might get in on some amount of dry air associated with the Saharan dust tomorrow, so they might get in on some amount of hazy skies, especially portions of the Windward Islands. So areas like St. Lucia, Barbados, Grenada, Tobago and Trinidad, portions of Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname still getting in on some amount of Saharan dust. And we can see on the wind forecast on both the Euro and the GFS, we're going to be having, let's say, anywhere from 10 to 20 knot winds from the east. Let's talk precipitation forecast. So both accumulated precipitation forecasts are showing a lot of rainfall for where it's raining now. So all of this is showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Sunday, and we can see that it's already showing the rainfall that's taking place right now across portions of Honduras, Nicaragua, portions of Venezuela, Colombia, portions of Guyana, Trinidad, portions of the Eastern Caribbean, as well as the Leeward Islands in general. Puerto Rico getting in on some amount of rain there. Anywhere up to an inch of rainfall is expected across portions of the northeastern Caribbean, as well as portions of Central America tomorrow. And if we actually take a look at Belize and Mexico as well, Guatemala, they will be getting in on some amount of rainfall as shown by both models as well. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.